Look, mate, are you? I don't know. You look a bit like Steve's, but you're not Steve's. Who are you?
Oh, Steve's.
Are you sure you're not Steve's? Because you.
Curtin Muckler.
Yeah, I'm Chibody G, but you've got the weird kind of rat thing.
You're not the vicar.
I'm not a bloody wicked.
You've got the same beard.
No, I'm not. I'm Chibody G.
This is weird.
This is weird. What's going on?
Are we in a vortex?
What's a vortex?
Like some sort of matrix glitch where I'm in your world and you're in
in
my
my
world.
world.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
We're saying the same thing.
We're saying the same thing.
The world's gonna explode.
The world's going to explode.
And I've done nothing with my life.
No, I've done nothing. What's going on? This is getting really weird.
Coming up on today's show.
Arsenal, I don't want to say rejects, but
ones that wouldn't
disposable.
wouldn't get in Arsenal side. The elephant in the room here, and
oh, come on, I'm
forgive me for
standing
saying
right here. I know I'm big. Come on, that's harsh.
the elephant
It's
is
the zebra.
You probably know this. You could be Anthony Gordon's twin brother.
Oh,
You must have got that, Charlie, Anthony.
I have had it.
Mate, trust me, sometimes girls like a girthy guy as well, like
Really?
me, bald, kind of thumb-looking guy. I look like a falafel. That's quite in. Falafels are quite in.
Hang on,
You're not a rat guy, Charlie. Honestly saying.
Come to a match at St James's Park with Anthony Gordon on your back.
Do you think you'd be happy with it?
Hey, welcome to the latest episode of Adopted Geordies. I'm Andy J. He's Asim Chowdhury. We are brought to you by BetMGM, and we have a special big moment. We have a very special guest for you
We
today.
have a very special guest today. I am so excited.
I'm buzzing
Buzzing like drugs? Or
already.
you look a bit
A bit wired.
Yeah,
No, not today.
Not today.
Not right now.
Okay,
Not during the podcast.
Not during, yeah, you're a professional. But we do have an amazing guest today. He's a very good friend of mine as well. We just worked together on a show. We spent a good amount of time out in Tenerife. It is the legendary, in my opinion, one of the greatest comedy actors this country has produced. It is Charlie Cooper! Come on! And I mean that, and that's coming from another comedy legend myself. So, self-titled.
No, that's fair
So
enough.
from comedy legend to comedy legend, welcome to the Adopted Geordies. Thank you so much for coming on as well.
Yeah,
mate.
I mean, I'm slightly concerned about the clothing. Not going to lie.
What do you mean?
Yeah, what is that shit?
Well, what is that?
It's the new Fulham away strip, which is a great shirt, isn't it?
It's a nice shirt.
It's sort of a bit of a callback to one of the retro ones in the 90s, but...
to be fair, it's a good-looking shirt, but it's got the wrong badge on it.
Oh, I see. Is that...
Yeah.
Oh,
You're
sorry.
outnumbered,
Yeah,
mate.
okay.
You're outnumbered.
Well-
What we wanted to say to Charlie is like how we are adopted George. First of all, you're probably thinking, this is a Newcastle shorts. This is a Newcastle show. Why have you got Charlie Cooper on who's a Fulham fan? That's what they're thinking.
Yeah.
But then I'll answer them.
Yeah, go on.
We're adopted Geordies. We're not from Newcastle, mate. Can you tell from the accents?
Yeah.
So you can't tell,
It's
really.
kind of the whole bit of the show,
It's the whole
isn't
bit
it?
of the
It's
show.
The whole point.
And then we thought, oh, my dear friend Charlie Cooper,
Yeah.
big fan of his work, have for many years. He's a Fulham fan, but you're not from Fulham, are you, Charlie?
I'm not. I'm from the West Country.
As we know from your brilliant show,
Yeah.
This Country. So, Charlie, why are you a Fulham fan?
So it's a great question. So yeah, I grew up in Gloucestershire, which is like southwest England. So our local club is really Swindon, which obviously we use in the show. Kerry wears the shirts.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff. And a lot of my friends are Swindon fans. And I've got a soft spot for Swindon, don't get me wrong, but you know, it's a lifelong sort of commitment to misery, I think. They won't mind me saying that because it is. I mean, Fulham's not much better. But I think when I was really getting into football and at the point where I really wanted to follow a team, I think it was, my dad took me along to a game. It was Kids for a Quid, which is probably why he took me there.
Right.
And it was midweek cup game under the lights at Craven Cottage. And it's that thing of, you walk up the steps, look out onto the pitch, and it was bang, immediately.
As we did today.
we did today, yeah.
Charlie took me around Craven Cottage today, and
Gave
that
you a
was
tour.
And I saw that, and I could see that it had some soul.
It's got,
So how old were you then? How old do you think you were there? That must have
I was
been...
about 9 or 10.
Wow.
But I mean, the team we had at the time, it was quite a glamorous team for Fulham teams. We had Jean Tigana was the manager, very cool French guy.
I remember
He used to
him.
have a toothpick in the corner of his mouth.
Oh, you know, I've always wanted to be a toothpick guy.
Oh my God.
I was just saying this to my missus the other day. I've got some cinnamon toothpicks. I'll give you some in a minute. Cinnamon toothpicks, right? And I've always wanted to be a toothpick guy, but I can't pull it off. I just always look a bit seedy. I look a bit.
I know, but who
bit-
can? I don't know many people who do.
It's
Jean Tigana, clearly.
Yeah.
I mean, and he looked like some sort of like, French detective, you know, French noir film. He
Yeah,
was
yeah,
so cool.
Yeah.
And he used to have this, you know, big, oversized Fulham track top that he'd zip right to the top. So it was a great team. We had a lot of French players, and you know, we really played some amazing football, and we had great kits at that time. And when you're that age,
That's one of the reasons I started supporting Newcastle was the black and white zebras. I love zebras, and you know, Juventus and all that. So the kit is a big thing when you're a kid.
Was your dad a Fulham fan?
Yeah.
No, so I got him into it. So we go together now, which is such a lovely thing. You know, we've been to Wembley together, watching Fulham, seen them win.
So so let me just check this back. You're a Fulham fan because it was £1 to get in.
I think so. I wanted to go to watch Fulham specifically, and he sort of eventually picked the game that happened to be £1 to get in, which they don't do anymore. Because I've spoken to other Fulham fans who, you know, became fans because they could have, you know, they went to those games where they could afford it and become lifelong fans.
If you had just said yes, that's why, I would have loved that. It's £1 to get in. You've got a fan for life. Because imagine how much money you've now spent on Fulham.
£1.
Totally.
It's a lot more than £1, right?
It's a good strategy. You look at, but there's like clubs in Italy where they give mini little baby grows to all the newborn babies in the local hospitals. I think that someone like Brescia do it in Italy. Such a good idea.
Yeah. Get them in young. It's a bit weird as well. That's a bit like kind of Nazi youth kind of vibe.
It is recruitment.
No,
no.
Get them in young though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is a little bit.
A little bit. It's like brainwashing them. But they haven't got a choice. They haven't got a choice.
No.
You put them in the baby grow. They're, you know.
Yeah, on the tit.
On the, you know.
In the stadium.
Tit.
Well, yeah, because if they're baby grows,
oh,
they're
right,
still breastfeeding.
Yeah. Okay, well, look, that's very wholesome and very sweet, I'd have to say. What would you like? And I can tell you're a proper Fulham fan because I've seen you. You've done a lot of stuff with the club as well. Yeah. What do you think of Fulham this season? Then, where do you think you guys could go? You know, I think one thing we all share as well is that we're not. And I was saying this to you before. We're not used to that much glory, not that much. You know, winning that much. So we are there for the highs and lows when it comes to Newcastle and Fulham. So what are your expectations? You've got a good team this season.
Yeah, it's really exciting because we've been yo-yoing really for the last few years. And you see a lot of our best players get taken away, and which can be tough, but we seem to be a point where we're sort of able to hang on to the good players, but also recruit really young, talented players like Emil Smith-Rowe.
Wow. You bought a lot
amazing.
of ex-Arsenal players.
Yeah, I was saying you've got some wholesale deal going on with Arsenal there. It's like some 4. Costco. You've got 4 Arsenal. I don't want to say rejects, but
ones that wouldn't
disposable.
They wouldn't get an Arsenal side.
They wouldn't get an Arsenal.
It's true. It's true. I have to.
They're not rejects, but
I feel
they're not
like
squad players.
Fulham, the way that Fulham buy is like, you know, when you go on them kind of dodgy websites and it says, there's 20 other people with the same item in your basket. Check out now or miss out. And I think you guys sometimes go,
we panic.
Find order in there.
You're on the Arsenal wholesale site.
Oh my God.
No, I'm joking. I do think you've got some really good. I mean, Smith-Rowe looks like he can be. He looks like he's going to have the potential now.
Yeah.
And he's given his platform now to show his skills. Because I mean, a few years ago, he was like being talked about as Phil Foden, and you know what I mean. That kind of hype was like Smith-Rowe's the next one.
Also, we can't knock it too much, man, because look at Joey Willock for us, right? He was an Arsenal. Not necessarily reject, but you know, he was coming through the youth ranks.
He couldn't get into the team.
Comes to Newcastle, scores 7 goals in 7 games, and when he's fit, he's a fantastic player for us. So Smith-Rowe's the same for you.
Yeah. So he's had a good start to the season, so we'll see where it goes. But it's that thing of expectation suddenly gets higher. So for Fulham, it's like, I mean, I don't know if it's the same for Newcastle fans, but there's big expectation at Fulham. There always has been, and I just think we've been in the Premier League. Back in the Premier League, for 2-3 seasons now, and now we want Europe, and it's like,
I mean,
do we? You know, we are really a small fish in a big pond. You know,
don't you love that though?
Always.
You love that because you love an underdog as well. We love an underdog. We are underdogs. Do you think? Obviously, we're playing against each other.
Well, we should
on the 21st.
We should play with time.
Yes.
Right. So here's the thing: we are recording this a couple of weeks before Fulham house Newcastle. We are going to the game. We're going to be sitting on the balcony.
Hopefully Charlie can make it. We don't know yet, but you're going to try and make it.
I tell you what, because this episode is going to go out a couple of days after that game has finished, here is what happens in that game.
Right then, Asim, we have just watched Newcastle's first defeat of the season. As you can see behind us, there's Jelinton.
Big dog.
Big Dan Burns, silence and pictures.
Yeah. Going to have a calf off with Joe Linton soon. But that's not about the calves. It's about the L today. First loss of the season, Andy.
Man.
It was a beautiful day in West London. But that first half.
We had moments, but firstly, we had amazing, what a view. We were in the cottage. It was a privilege to be
Fulham.
here.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, we felt very lucky, but it was very sad because basically we were a bit pants.
Yeah, we were a bit pants. So something was off from the very, very beginning. The first half, the midfield just wasn't clicking, and it kind of felt a little bit like Space Jam. You know, like the players had lost their skill, their talent. I don't know what happened, and I thought we were going to do like, you know, a drastic second half Eddie Howe.
Massive change,
and we didn't.
I mean,
see that.
listen, we did
see
a few seconds in, second half. We looked like we were like, look, we had.
You were going for a wee, you missed the goal. I looked away for a second. We missed the Harvey Barnes goal. 2-1 straight away. We thought, okay, we're back in.
We thought we'd be in it. Yeah, and then with the 6 minutes of extra time, we thought, oh, right, we're going to get a draw. The luck was not with us.
Tonali, I mean, I know that's the big thing. Why is he not starting? Did he come on too late? I don't know, man. What do you think?
Oh, do you know what? I trust Eddie because he's a genius, but things aren't feeling right now.
No, they're not.
Do you know what I mean? We had moments at the start of the first half. You know, Joe Linton had a. I thought it was a goal 4 minutes in, but it obviously wasn't.
We were in the cottage,
and then suddenly I think we were sucker punched because I felt we were the dominant team, the lion's share of that first half.
We were,
But they got us twice, and we were just like, we were shell shocked. We were a bit mortified, and we didn't recover. And we're not used to not recovering, you know.
No.
Anthony Gordon, Isaac, they were quite quiet.
And I mean, the share sitter. I mean, that's what I was saying to you. He's normally used to scoring from 35 yards out, not 5 yards out. And I think that was the problem. But we scored that, we would have been back in 2-2. We could have nicked it, you know. So, I mean, Austin came on. I thought he was pretty lively. You know, he threw him on last 10 minutes.
He had a tussle, didn't he?
I'll be honest,
scraps.
I think Fulham deserved it. I mean, that first half, Adama and Iwobi, they played really well on the wings. That's why we were constantly switching it up. We were switching our wing backs. We were panicking that first half. So, I mean, fair play to Fulham. It's the first loss of the season. I think it's a wake-up call, mate.
We will. I mean, make no mistake. We will bounce back to this.
Yeah.
We will find our rhythm. We will get it right. But I wonder if part of it was all the narrative beforehand about, oh, they've been so lucky so far. And then there was like, well, if they win now, they'll be top of the league. And I wonder, I don't think our lads buckle under pressure, but we weren't right.
There was
today.
Some shaky legs there, definitely. And then, I mean, Popey, love you, mate. Big howler. Big howler for Popey. I haven't seen the replay of it properly, but what can you say? But listen, we'll bounce back. It was an amazing experience. And look, we'll get it right. I think I still do think it's a tactical thing. Like, we need to figure out that chemistry and that balance, you know. And we need to get Tonali starting. Honestly, mate, his quality. As soon as he came on, he pinged the ball through for Isaac. Isaac played well as well when he had the ball. He hardly had the ball. But yeah, we'll bounce back.
I tell you what else was interesting is we were there in the fancy seats, and all of the management, all of the senior management, the CEO, sporting director, and so on, they were all there, and they were taking it very seriously, weren't they?
Well, yeah, they look serious. So, like, this is obviously, you know, it's not the best result. It's our first loss of the season, but yeah, you have to take this seriously. But also, the players gave everything, and you saw our amazing fans clapping at the end, you know, and, you know, fair play to the team.
Fans were brilliant.
Fans were brilliant as always, but yeah, let's see. We'll bounce back.
We'll bounce back. And speaking of bouncing back, we are now going to bounce back into the past, into the future, in the studio with Charlie, the Fulham fan. He's amazing.
He predicted 2-1. It was 3-1, so nearly Charlie. But
listen, if you're feeling a bit down after today's result, the rest of this show, we hope,
you're going to love
give you a bit of a giggle.
You're going to love it.
And look, there's the Newcastle crest. When you need it, we believe.
So the thing is, we could record 4 different reactions. We could record amazing Newcastle victory. We're so thrilled. We could, we were so close. That was unlucky. Oh, a bit of a poor draw. Or, wow, loads of goals in that game. We don't know how it ended.
We don't know.
But you do.
Know. You are time travelers. So, but there's a question. Should we get a prediction?
Yeah, let's do it.
Like, we've both seen both of our teams. We've seen both of our teams play a few games now.
Yeah.
We think Newcastle have had a really good start. I mean, 7 points from 9
Despite
games.
Playing really poorly.
9 points. I mean, that's not bad. And we haven't played that well. What do you think? Predictions?
We've been a little slow. We're finding needed a bit more time to click, I think, with the new signings. But I think you could be the guys that it clicks.
Oh, great.
I really feel like that.
I'm not so sure. I think Fulham have been very unlucky against Newcastle. I was at Craven Cottage last season when Cher and Joe Linton scored the 2 that beat you, which was, no, it wasn't Joe Linton, it was Bruno. And Bruno did a knee slide, which turned into a kind of forward roll kind of slap.
Yeah.
And you guys were very good in that game, and we still came away victorious. At St James's Park last season, you had the kung fu kick at the start, down to 10 men, do you remember?
Yeah.
And then it was kind of easy pickings for us.
Yeah.
So I would say Newcastle's record against Fulham, since Eddie's come in, has been very, I don't think you've touched us.
Do you know what?
So-
We've never done well against Eddie Howe teams. Even Bournemouth, we used to really struggle. He's a clever guy, isn't he?
He's a clever guy.
So for that reason, Alan, I think Newcastle will be the one that clicks instead of Fulham.
Oh.
I think this is the game, because
Well,
also that's the other thing is we have a Wolves game that you will have seen and we will know the result for, but we don't know it right now as we're recording because we're in the middle of the international break, the England break.
Yeah.
And then we've got Wolves away, and then we've got a cup game, I think, and then we're playing you guys.
Go on, give us a score prediction then, Andy. And
37-0.
37. No, go on, come on, because it'll be fun to see. Because
2-1 Newcastle.
2-1 Newcastle. Go on, Charlie. What do you think?
I'm gonna say I think 2-1 Fulham. I mean, we won't keep a clean sheet.
Okay.
But we're mad as a box of frogs at the moment. I just think
You never know.
You never
It's the
know,
unpredictable right now with Fulham.
Yeah.
Asim, what do you
I'm
think?
going to go for a 1-1 I don't know why. I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to go right down the vanilla, boring.
Wow.
I'm a basic bitch. Fiat
Get the
500.
splinters out your ass.
Yeah.
Sitting
Here's
on
a
the
question
fence.
for you though, Charlie. So a big part of why we started this podcast is because, I really should be a Brentford fan the same way you should be a Swindon fan. And that is, I love Brentford. The way I describe it is like, Newcastle's my wife, Brentford's like my missus. I'm in on this side a little bit. I love her, but I can't marry her.
Yeah.
She's not mummy. Mummy won't meet her.
Side chick.
I know that's really weird. Yeah, she's just a side chick. Sorry, Brentford fan. But I love Brentford, obviously, local club. Love them. But let me ask you a question. So Newcastle has been, really close to my heart for many, many years. For Andy, it's in his family. Like, it's in his bloodline. So and one part of the reason we love Newcastle is that we feel like we've been accepted so much by the club and the city, like obviously adopted Geordies, right? Do you feel that love and acceptance with Fulham?
Do you know what I do? Because I didn't have any mates that were Fulham fans.
You got no fans.
But
You got no gran.
essentially- So me and my dad would go to games and not know anyone, not talk to anyone, just sort of stand in the corner.
Oh, right.
And now, obviously, since the show came out and
Oh, mate, you must get terrorized at the games.
away
you're
games, mostly.
Because he's in with the ultras.
Are you?
Yeah, he hasn't got like a posh
behind the
seat.
guy in the hammy end, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, before I had kids, I've got 2 young kids, so it's hard to get to games now. But I used to go to a lot of away games, which was always, a bit more of a hardcore following.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was one time, I think it was Swansea away, where I was queuing up just to get a pie, and the whole concourse spotted me there and started singing, "Cooper, Cooper, give us a song," or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was one of those moments where I just completely froze.
No.
I know every song there's ever been. for Fulham.
No.
And I
Yeah,
just
you do as well because you were doing some earlier.
And I couldn't think of anything.
Did you go with the classic, come on, Fulham?
No, I didn't even do that.
Didn't even do that?
There's an old guy in front of me, and I just said, what songs do you know? And it was just it was one of the worst moments of my life, because it's like,
You're a failed fan.
Yeah.
I'm a failed fan.
Oh.
And then people started booing.
No.
Like, boo.
Oh, no,
Oh,
you've been
my
rejected.
So I should have just done, I don't know why I did that. I'm so
You
sorry.
froze.
Whoever was there, if you're watching this, I do know songs, I promise.
He does know songs.
He does know songs.
He was
Yeah.
singing some earlier.
I know loads.
Inter Toto. You were singing the Inter
We
Toto
won it
one.
one time. We won it, the Inter Toto.
And we were saying they won Inter Toto.
Yeah.
They got the trophy. We've got a picture with the trophy that we can probably play, maybe not. But we saw the Inter Toto Cup for Fulham. We won the Inter Toto Cup. What did we get? Did we get a cup?
We got a certificate, mate.
Got a
Yeah.
bloody certificate.
It's
That's a piss take.
It is a piss take.
Yeah.
But what a trophy too. It's so
It's a
niche.
cool trophy.
It's so cool.
It's very niche.
Not many clubs can say they've won it.
It's
Do you know
very
what I mean?
nostalgic.
I
Very,
was
very-
wondering if we would be able to convert you, Charlie. I'd actually said to Asim, I think we
Yeah.
need to spend most of this, because the elephant in the room here, and
Oh, come on.
forgive
I'm
me for
standing
saying,
right here, man. Don't be- I know I'm big, but come on. That's harsh.
The elephant
I'm
in the
right
room here is
More of a
that-
zebra.
you probably know this. You could be Anthony Gordon's twin brother.
Oh,
You must have got that, Charlie, Anthony.
I have had that.
Because
Yeah.
Steve's gets it from my show. Steve's gets there because you and Steve's look quite
Yeah.
alike as well.
But hang on,
have you ever met Steve's? Only at
Yeah,
we
I
met
have
at Baptist.
Steve's.
Yeah.
But you were talking about Anthony Gordon earlier, saying
He looks like a villain.
Yeah, and you hated him before you...
that was more like his like, you know, his vibe. Do you know when he was like at Everton, he was like, yeah.
Yeah, he was. But
he was like a little pit bull.
There was an article recently that's broken that apparently rat guys are in at the moment.
Girls do like... You're not a rat guy, though.
I'm a rat guy.
No,
Gareth Southgate. Anthony Gordon.
All right, okay. So you're saying it's rat season. I'm not gonna. I don't think you look like a rat. I don't think Steve's is like a rat.
Come on, of course I look like a rat.
No, you don't, mate. You're niche. Like you're like okay, the same way. Like trust me, sometimes girls like a girthy guy as well, like me, like a bald kind of thumb-looking guy. I look like a falafel. That's quite in. Falafels are quite in.
Hang on,
you're not a rat guy, Charlie. Honestly,
we should
mate.
Call this episode,
you're a very good-looking guy.
It's more me
Falafel
on
and
the
the
butcher's
rat.
pencil.
No.
But a piece of gristle.
No, I'm telling you,
on.
Charlie, girls love you, mate.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we both got a niche.
We both.
I think we're not. Look, Andy's more of a normal-looking human.
More handsome, but
yeah,
we're...
he's conventionally better looking, but we're more like we'll get the freaks.
We're the Intertoto Cup.
We're the Intertoto Cup. Yes, Charlie. No, but you're right. But you're saying rat guys are in.
Yeah, it's a rat guy summer apparently.
Well, I do think because I think unusual looking men.
Yeah.
You know, they do better than, let's say, unusual looking women.
Yeah.
We're a bit more basic men. We want like more of a not all the time, but you know what I mean. It's like want a pretty girl, want this, want that. For men. Like, you don't know what, it's weird things. Exactly. You know, weird things can be attractive.
Well, Charlie, didn't you start your career as a model?
He's a model, mate. I've seen pictures of him talking all this rat guy shit. He is a gorgeous bastard.
Yeah, but they're all, it's sort of like, I mean, if you look at sort of male model, if you Google the stuff I've done, I mean, it's pretty embarrassing.
Should we bring up some pictures of Charlie?
You've done proper modelling, mate.
I was very part-time, but I did it before I started acting, actually. And it was a great thing at the time because it sort of gave me confidence. Because I've always been quite reserved. And,
right. Yeah. You know,
never.
You're like the opposite of your sister Daisy, aren't you? Because I've met Daisy a few times and I love her, but you are so different. So but I wouldn't say you're an introvert. Like you're not introverted. I think you're personally just from working with you and spending time with you. I would say you're more reserved.
Yeah, definitely.
But you're not. I would never say you were shy.
But I never. The way I fell into acting was sort of an accident, really.
Yeah. Go on, tell us that.
Well,
it's really interesting.
I mean, she always did sort of drama at school and wanted to do it as a kid. I was just into football basically, so you know the idea of doing anything like that freaked me out. And then she graduated from drama school and then wasn't going up for auditions, wasn't getting any work, and that's really when we started writing something for her to be in. And I wasn't doing anything at the time.
But you were writing with her, obviously.
Yeah, writing with her.
Yeah.
And then we had the idea for this country. And sort of, we started developing it. And then a few years down the line, you know, got a commission with the BBC, which is amazing. And we auditioned people for the, you know, part that I play, Curtin. He had a different name then.
That's insane.
But then we couldn't really find anyone to do the accent. And Daisy was like, look, you're the only one who can do it. You're just going to have to just be in it. Just be you know.
I can't believe that you were auditioning someone for a character that I can't think of anyone else who could have played that.
Anthony Gordon.
Anthony Gordon.
Yeah.
No, but
stunt double.
Anthony Gordon as Curtin would have been amazing.
Yeah, it would have.
You were great, don't get me wrong, but Anthony Gordon...
I would love to see it.
But that is so mental, though. I can't believe that. So then you just did it. You must have felt so like nervous, and because you're out of your comfort zone, right?
Yeah, but I mean, Daisy was great, you know, because she really gave me confidence, and it was like years of reading out the script. I just, you know, that character became so part of me.
Yeah.
And then,
did you know a lot of guys who were like Curtin around your area?
Oh yeah,
right? Because it feels like people I know, and even I'm not from that kind of. Obviously, I'm from West London, Hounslow, but I knew a lot of Curtins.
Oh, that's good.
Growing up, 100%, mate. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I like to think you get those characters wherever you go in the world.
100%.
You know, the sort of the two people who never really grow up and get left behind, and
they're a bit stuck, aren't they?
Totally
in a regressed state, which makes them funny. It's the same thing with people just nothing. They're children.
There's so much tragedy to it.
So much tragedy.
Comedy.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it was. I mean, a lot. Yeah, I mean, it's all written on people we know and storylines with stuff that happened to us, and so it was a real sort of, you know, it was 20 years in the making. It wasn't just something that was overnight. It was
it's
like people same for you guys.
Yeah, it's the same. But people say that with music as well. Like, you know, they say
congratulations on your 7-year overnight success.
Yeah, that as well. But also it's that thing of like when you have an artist who releases their debut album, you know, people think, oh, okay, they got signed, then they worked on the album for 6 months, but they've been making their album their whole life.
Yeah.
It's everything's needed, and that's why the second album is so difficult. Because
Completely.
it's like your life changes, and for us, it's probably similar. Second
Totally.
season, or like say post BAFTA wins, or
Yeah.
post real, you know, like critical acclaim.
Yeah.
And there's a pressure on you, and also our shows came up around the same time, around BBC Three.
Yeah.
And BBC Three had a few hits, but they weren't like, you know. Then you had all of a sudden you had People Just Nothing, This Country, Fleabag.
Yeah.
Like we all came out at the same time. So BBC Three started producing these great British shows. But also it was pressure because it was like, okay,
Yeah.
season 2, season 3.
Mad.
What
Yeah, I mean, it was lucky because we got commissioned by when BBC Three was going online.
yes.
So it felt it like freed up money. They were commissioning lots of projects, which was great because it was more creative. And I think we got left alone really, which was amazing. Had no one sort of because we had experiences before where we had projects that were just people would stick their noses in, and suddenly you'd compromise on stuff and it would become totally different from what your original vision was. So we got left alone. And again, the fact that I was able to be in it having no experience was amazing. And they're like, oh, by the way, Charlie's going to be in it. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. It's like, that wouldn't happen normally.
It wouldn't.
And then we got our dad in it.
Yeah,
again,
it's
never acted
brilliant.
before,
Your
played
dad's
Martin
great.
Marklow.
Yeah.
But he knew the world, he knew the characters, and
mate.
the accent, and he was amazing.
You can tell that though, like when you watch that show, you can tell that it's the sincerity and the authenticity of the
It's
show.
got so much
good.
heart.
It's got so much heart, and that's what you can just tell straight away, can't you? When you watch something, or even like with any chemistry, you could tell when people have been put together.
Yeah, I remember when it first came out, people were wondering if it was an obdog. They weren't sure if it was a drama, a comedy, or was
And
it
all the
actually,
best
is this just
mocks are
real
like
life?
that. All
Is
the
this-
best mockumentaries are like that. Trick 'em.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Totally.
that's the best compliment when people think it's real.
Oh my God,
You know.
I think initially when we started, that was the thing that excited us the most. I remember when it first came out, we were just refreshing Twitter, just seeing what people said about it, and people were so confused, and that was so
That's
exciting.
the
was
best
amazing.
feeling
Yeah.
because it's like as mockumentary makers.
Yeah, you
same thing
succeeded.
with our early stuff on YouTube. We used to get comments on my YouTube channel where it'd be like, "Fucking chavs,
Yeah.
get a job." Even like really racist ones to Chibuddy because Chibuddy would joke about being an illegal immigrant. They'd be like, "Look at the state of this country. They come here and all that." And I was like, we were loving it though. We were
my
like,
God.
they think we're
Yeah.
real, and that's another reason why. After the show, we stayed in character and did interviews in character for around maybe 3-4 years because we loved that.
That's so great.
Just staying in.
the
Did
mystery.
you guys do that? Were you?
No, we didn't, but we loved the stuff that you did. Like that was so. It felt like we missed
But it would have worked for it would have worked for you
guys.
guys too as well because
Yeah.
even now people look at us and they go,
But when
"Oh,
pe-
it's Chibuddy and Curtin."
Well,
which
how much
is-
do you get that? How much
Yeah.
do you guys get that on the streets? Is it a daily thing where someone will shout your buddy or curtain?
Do you know what it is
can
actually?
be, yeah.
And
Every day.
It is, and it's because, but people are so happy to see you,
Yeah.
which is the most mental thing. And because I think it's a comedy, so it's like people feel a connection. You've made them laugh once, and it's like, yeah, it's incredible because it took us so long to get made as well.
Yeah.
So whenever anyone pays it a compliment or comes up to me in the streets,
Do you get catchphrases? Because you must get peanut dust.
Yeah, I
mean,
get
that's-
peanut dust.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where's
yeah.
Aldonna or something like that?
yeah, I get that a lot.
What
Yeah.
do you get? Is there a specific?
I get, the bounties thing.
Yeah, yeah.
What else do I get a lot of, where's Kerry then? Where's the vicar? Where's the vicar? But I mean,
I always say it's such a wonderful thing, and also some people say, "Oh, are you? So what? You're happy with being Chibuddy or Curtin for the rest of your life?" And I say, "You know what, mate? Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Not in a way of like, oh, I know I can't do anything else because we've both done stuff apart from that and done stuff we're proud of. But also, what an honor to be that remembered as one thing that was stained on people's the same way I'm sure Coogan gets
Yeah.
and Brent and Del Boy. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, it's an honor. Like
It's the
just
same
to be
with all of
a
it though,
small
isn't it?
part of that British comedy culture. I mean,
completely.
It's the same with bands. They're going to play their hits. When
Play their
people go and
hits.
see that, you play the hits. Doesn't matter if you played it 30,000 times, 3 million times. People still love it. It has the impact. You play the hits.
I have to admit, I do get frustrated when sometimes if I'm going to go see an act
Yeah.
and they do, we're going to do our new stuff, aren't I?
No,
no.
that's not what we're here for.
Don't play
I
the new
know.
stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not your guinea pig. I'm-
Play the hits.
play
but
the
it's
hits.
the same with bringing it back slightly to football. It's the same with footballers. You look at a retired footballer that can't talk you through their greatest goals.
Yeah.
They love it. They absolutely love reminiscing. Shearer talking about the goal against Everton. He loves it.
He does.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I mean, people remind me of quotes that I've totally forgotten about.
Yeah.
And it's so nice seeing what their favourite bits is because it's always.
It's always the bits you don't really
Don't-
know as well. You
yeah.
don't remember.
Or wasn't even meant to be funny.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Can I
Yeah.
just
So,
say,
yeah.
this started by me saying you look a bit like Anthony Gordon.
Oh my God. We've digressed.
And seeing if we could talk you into becoming a Newcastle fan.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you have never been to St James's Park.
Never.
And I think,
mate.
and I listen, I get it. You love Fulham. It's
loyal.
now in your DNA.
Yeah.
Fair enough. There's loyalty, but I've been to Fulham many times. Little fact for you: I actually had a neutral season ticket to Fulham when I moved to London. You could buy a neutral. I had two season tickets, 2 seats next to each other, for £275 for the whole season. When you had Roy Hodgson as manager, so there was some
wow.
really good football.
Yeah.
And I was sat with the away fans for every single game, and the away fans
Yeah.
bring it at Craven
They
Cottage.
really do.
It was like I wanted to see live football, obviously going up to Newcastle,
Yeah.
but based right by the ground, it was like, well, might as well. £275 for 2 seats.
No-brainer.
Fantastic.
Only
You
Fulham
know?
could have a neutral end.
Yeah, they don't have it anymore. They don't have it anymore, but
No.
then they did. So the point I was getting to is there's quite a small number of fans that go to Craven Cottage to the point where they had a neutral stand, right? Which is why I would go, because I'm not a Fulham fan. But I like Craven Cottage and I like the atmosphere. However, that place does not get very loud compared to St James's.
Oh, I can imagine.
And I
You have
think
to
I
come,
think it
Charlie.
would literally blow your mind.
Yeah, well, I mean, I find London clubs in general, actually, any clubs down south, the fans
They're not the loudest.
quiet.
Yeah.
When you go up north, the further you go up north, although I've not been to Newcastle, it seems to get louder.
Newcastle is loud.
I think you have to come with us to
Really,
it.
I would look.
Yeah.
Listen, you come with us. We'll take Paul Form as well, which is he's another adopted
Yeah.
Geordie.
Take my dad.
Take your dad, and we'll go up there and we'll try to convert you.
Yeah,
To
I,
the-
I
to
think
the-
at the
to-
very least, a
imagine
second
that.
team status.
No, I mean second. Yeah, like
Saying a
Swindon. Let's
lot.
get rid of Swindon.
Yeah, but you can't have a second. You can't have a second team in the same division. That's,
Well, no, but we'll
Okay.
we'll be still.
It'll be
watching the Premier
like
League.
football kits. We'll be like your third kit.
There you go. There you
let's
go.
see.
Let's
if we
see.
make a weekend of it, yeah.
We'll do a weekend.
Go
Pop
out on
World.
Saturday night.
Yeah, the Toon will love us there. They will embrace you. We'll give it a go.
Especially if you wore an Anthony Gordon top.
Oh my
that would-
Oh my god,
that would
yeah.
really
Charlie,
work.
mate, that's
That's a good bit of content.
a good bit.
Yeah.
Hashtag content.
Yeah.
You're always thinking. All right, Charlie. Here's a good question for you. Who is the best Fulham player of all time?
Oh my god.
Do you like the way I did that? I looked down and then looked up.
Yeah, that is.
That was the
I mean,
suspense.
Yeah.
for me personally, or do you think, sort of?
No, for you. Don't worry about what anyone else thinks.
Personally, yeah.
I think it's got to be. I'm gonna
Tough
kick
question.
myself when I do. I'll say a few names. Clint Dempsey, do you remember him?
Yeah,
Yeah,
of
the
course.
American.
Yeah,
He was amazing. Scored some really.
He was
important
playing
goals
when
for
I
us.
had my neutral
Oh, really?
ticket. Yeah.
Really,
Good goal
Clint
scorer.
Dempsey. He was
Good
a
goal
scored the
scorer.
goal
Scored a
that
lot of
got-
goals.
the goal against Juventus, or in the Europe.
Right. Yeah.
During that run under Hodgson, the chip, which was like iconic,
Oh, yes.
one of the best Fulham goals
Yeah,
ever.
yeah.
So he's got to be up there. For me, my personal favourite Fulham player ever is Brian McBride, another American, which is very niche.
Brian McBride.
Do you remember him?
He's got a great name.
Yeah, he sounds.
He was like-
sounds made up.
Brian McBride.
Brian McBride.
Brian McBride. He played for Everton. He was on loan at Everton for a few games, and
I
then came to
don't
Fulham.
remember him.
And was there for a long time, and he was a bit of a swashbuckling centre forward. Not a lot of glamour, but he was amazing in the air. He was
Right.
about 6 foot, and he had the leap on him that was like, it was insane.
Really?
Can I suggest a couple of players, because I think you're
Yeah.
missing a trick, because there are some
Okay.
crossover Newcastle players who played for Fulham and Newcastle.
Go on.
And when I say a couple of these names, I think you might kick yourself.
Yeah.
The first one is Asim's all-time favourite, Peter Beardsley.
Peter Beardsley.
Peter Beardsley.
Yeah.
Yeah, who
Quality.
looks like a sort of transported from the medieval times.
Yeah, very.
Then if I'm right,
Hunchback of
Andy
Notre Dame.
Cole.
Yes.
Andy Cole played for Newcastle and Fulham.
He did. He was
Yeah.
at the end of his career at Fulham, but he did well. He scored some good goals.
Big Dan Byrne played at Fulham.
Burn, yeah.
You
Got a lot
know?
of stick from Fulham fans, but I liked
He
him.
did.
The Giant.
We were saying, yeah.
And of course, Mitro's on fire.
Oh,
Alexander
Oh,
Mitrovic.
Mitro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a nutcase. I loved him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
he
loved
was-
him. We loved
mate.
him.
We
We
loved
loved
him.
him.
we loved
That,
him.
so I reckon out of them,
Mitro.
there's
You're missing one actually.
Go on.
That played for both.
Oh.
See if you get it. He was from Finland, and he was a big barrel-chested centre forward. Chef Kikuchi.
Oh, crikey.
Oh shit!
Chef
Shout.
Kikuchi.
Charlie knows his shit.
Well done. Well remembered.
He was absolutely
He's not going to live long in the memory, bless him. But
no.
Okay, so wait, who are you gonna get? You gonna go for this Brian McBride guy?
Well, if you don't know him, I feel
no,
like
but that's just a knowledge thing.
I'm gonna
for
go
me.
Chef Kikuchi. I'll go Brian McBride. Yeah.
Go on, do it.
You going for
And do
Brian
you know what,
McBride?
Brian
Go on.
McBride? I went up to this is years ago. I was sort of 13, 14. Went Everton away. It was midweek. We lost 4-1. Awful weather, like winter game, and we were so bad. But then the players came over at the end of the game. He threw his shirt in the crowd. Bearing in mind he was already my favourite player, and I caught it.
Yay!
No way. So
And
he's
that's
got his
cool.
shirt. Okay,
That's
that
cool.
no, it's got to be Brian.
That's
McBride.
cool.
And that was
Scott
just-
Parker is another one
Scott
that's played for
Parker,
both of us.
Yeah, but he's
You're not a fan.
He's not a big
Didn't throw his shirt at you.
Fulham fans really dislike him. Even though he got us
Really?
promoted, beat Brentford in the playoff final.
Yeah.
Still hate him because of the football he played.
Right.
Really
that's
negative.
a big part of what people don't understand about football sometimes.
No.
Especially with Newcastle and Fulham, teams like that, like where we're not just based on winning. We want to see good football.
You want to be entertained. If you're paying money.
I fell in love with Newcastle in the Kevin Keegan era.
Oh.
Right. And that his philosophy, I've said this to Andy before as well. It's how I live my life as well. It's like, you know, you will score against
Yeah.
us, but we will score more than you. And that's what I think life's about. Like, you will take some losses,
Yeah.
but don't worry. At the end of it, when we will gather them up, I'll get more wins than losses. That is the way to live life, because it's like, you're living, you're entertaining,
So true.
you're taking a risk.
I know.
And football is about risk.
So
you know?
Scott Parker would be 1-0 up
Yeah.
and sort of 60 minutes on the board. He'd bring a striker off.
Yeah,
put
Bruce
back
Bruce Ball.
five.
Yeah.
Biggest centre back. That's like putting a condom on a condom. If it's possible.
Oh my
But-
god.
yeah, but he'd-
Double
but
up.
he'd
Double
do
up, rubber up, mate.
He'd do it in a very kind of tight-fitted, piece of linen, though, wouldn't he? I mean, he was always
He looked
quite
great.
unusual in his.
Yeah.
he looked great. Did you say?
Well, he put a little bit. He thought about it too much, I think.
Overthinker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think he had a stylist?
Possibly, but it was very like weird cardigans with like random sort of pockets or like stripes.
Yeah, pockets that had no function. I hate
Yeah.
that.
Who is
hate
the best-looking manager in terms of what they wear on the touchline? Because I think I've seen Pep Guardiola rock a couple of cardigans in the past where I've just gone.
awful though.
Yeah,
aren't
I
they?
don't. I
They're
think.
like Primark. They're
I
like
think
grey
that. I hate his cardigans and
with the
all
big
that.
collars. and-
Yeah, he looks like an Arnie. You know, he's got Arnie vibes.
Horrible.
I actually think the best looking manager is Jose. I think Mourinho.
I'm talking about clothes. I'm not talking about his overall look. No, I'm not talking about who's
God,
sexy.
well, that's
Like,
revealing.
who dresses the best.
Right.
I like that you've got in there with
delete that
Jose.
bit. Delete that bit.
I love a suit on a manager. I really do. And I love seeing managers that normally wear tracksuits that wear a suit for a big occasion. And it looks so weird.
It looks weird.
I
Yeah,
can imagine
yeah.
Klopp in a suit.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah, that's weird.
I don't think I've ever seen him wear a suit.
Yeah.
But it's a great question. Who is...
I mean, I was thinking. I mean,
Eddie
actually,
Howe, he's never worn a suit.
No, he doesn't.
Eddie's going for the tight fit at the moment,
Yeah,
isn't he?
he's
got,
pretty
he's got
tight.
almost like those kind of
very active wear.
jogging
Yeah. He's got
leggings,
active
that,
wear. Yeah.
figure hugging.
But I don't want to see him in a suit. I think he is a sportswear kind of guy. But Ancelotti, I think, looks good in a suit.
Carlo Ancelotti's cool.
He's
But a lot of
swaggy.
them are sportswear now because the whole Gareth Southgate thing about not wearing a waistcoat was that he wanted to be more approachable
The
and look
waistcoat's
less like
terrible.
Is
isn't
that
it?
what
I
it
love
was?
the waistcoat.
Did
but
you
yeah,
like it?
So now he wears like a white polo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he
For
does.
For approachability.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it must be a psychology thing that they probably say, look, you need to sort of dress on their level.
Maybe he should have worn a suit for the final then, hey? Which one, hey? Nearly.
Nearly.
Okay, so we haven't really come up with an answer. Who's the best dressed manager? But you guys are approving of the tracksuits.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of the managers. So wait, let's go through them. Ange. Do you know what? Ange
Ange, yeah.
Postecoglou, right? He looks like he gets his suits from Moss Bros. They're so ill-fitting.
Yeah, they
like
don't
the
fit
ties
well.
a bit
Yeah.
chunky.
Yeah.
He's
shirt's
very
not done
likable.
at-
guy,
It reminds
isn't
me of once when I was like 19, I went for a job interview and I needed to buy a suit and I bought a suit from Tesco's. From where is it? Is it George? Or, no, George.
Georgia Asda.
Is it Georgia Asda? It might be one of them. And I remember I literally, the sleeves were like up here.
That's Ange.
And I looked like, one of those, when they do those, like when you have two small people and they're in a suit and they're trying to like pretend to be part of us, a real human. And I looked like that and it was literally like, it was terrible. But that's Ange.
Did you get the job?
No, of course not. Yeah.
It is Ange. It's a shame because I like. He seems like a nice guy.
I like Ange. He's got a good personality. Here's a quick little question for you, Charlie. you're obviously, you've done a lot of great stuff, but you're working on a documentary now, I've heard.
I am.
Which sounds
working-
super interesting. Can you tell us a little bit about
Yeah,
it?
it's so we're doing BBC, and it's a documentary all about sort of folklore and myths and legends of the British Isles.
Wow.
So it's it's not scripted, so it's very different to what I've done before. But I sort of front it, and I've got this sort of old knackered, old AA van. It's like a converted camper van. So I've been up and down the country in that, looking at local sort of
Wow.
legends and.
Like what
folklore.
kind of legends, for example? Like what?
So went to Norfolk. Have you heard of Black Shuck?
Would you call me?
God, don't accuse me of being racist.
You told me he was
Again, I got you
racist.
again. I got you again.
You're gonna get cancelled. So yeah, it's a demon dog. So
Yeah.
you get black dog sightings all over UK or Britain, but specifically in East Anglia for some reason.
Wow.
And it's a sort of shaggy black dog, size of a calf, with red eyes, and people claim to still see it today, and they've seen it over hundreds of years. And apparently, the folklore is that it's a bad omen. So if you see it, you will die within a year.
Wow.
And have you
Yeah.
seen it?
Bloody hell.
No, I went on a stakeout, didn't see it, but
Okay.
I talked to people who'd seen it. They were still alive to tell the tale.
Yeah.
But-
Well, even after the year.
yeah, 20 years and
Time's
stuff.
up.
You waited 366 days.
Yeah.
There you go. But it was fascinating.
Wow, that sounds great. What's it called?
It's called, I think the title, we're still working on the title. It's called Charlie Cooper's Land of Legends at the moment. So hopefully it stays like that. But, and we did another one on crop circles, which was, we only did 3 episodes, but,
You know what I would have loved, and I know you probably get this as well. I would have loved if you did it as Curtin.
oh,
Yeah, man.
I mean, I definitely went
Like
into
Steve's
Curtin
did a good little BBC Three promo. We all did little promo things, and I did like a tour of Hounslow. And we used we used all the conventions of those kind of shows. Like with a tour guide, I did a really cheesy, like when they walk up to the camera and it's like, so when you think of Hounslow, you think of
remember this.
and then Steve's did one where it was discovering an alien stock.
Yeah, so
and
good.
we used all those things, and it was so good. And Curtin would be brilliant for that
Nice,
stuff as
yeah.
well. But also, it's also good that you do it as yourself as well. But I just thought
Yeah,
crop
I mean-
circles and Curtin would be brilliant.
It
you
would
know?
be, I mean, maybe if we ever brought this country back.
Well, could Curtin make a comeback?
I mean, we thought about it. Never say never, but it's like... It's,
Never say never, but you've already just said never twice just then.
Never say never, say never. But it's like, it's got to be the right idea. And
Yeah.
it's like, he was so terrified of,
Oh my God,
You
coming
bring it
bringing it
back.
back.
back
the
and then
legacy.
people going, oh, weren't as good as it used to be.
Worst thing ever to
Yeah.
do. What about movie though? I remember we were chatting about that.
Yeah, the possibility. I mean,
I'd
again,
love a movie. I'm sure so many people would love a This Country movie.
I mean, whatever whether it would be a Christmas, it would have to be a Christmas thing because I'd love the
Oh,
amount of material you could have with that.
mate.
Um,
You know what we should do, Charlie? And I remember we had little murmurs of this back in the day. We should get the band back together, but it would only work for a comic relief sketch because we could never cross over for real.
No,
but
totally.
comic relief allows us to do
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
But imagine how good that
what
would
would
be.
we do?
I don't know, mate. But it
No.
would, I don't know what the
road
question.
trip, a road
Well, no, the
trip with
question
Kevin
would be:
Chibani.
would it be in Brentford or would it be in?
Oh, you
in
guys have
your
got to
world?
come to the village.
I think, but then also, you coming to
Oh,
Brentford
yeah.
and House, they both work.
We'd get the National Express up on the
Yeah.
You
The
go on
vicar,
holiday.
The vicar
Yeah.
would
You
chaperone
could
us.
meet on holiday.
Yeah, yeah.
Great idea.
Couldn't you?
I
could
would love
meet
to.
randomly.
I think we would, because we have a lot of like crossover fans, because
Yeah.
obviously
Yeah.
it's a mockumentary. It's very dry. It's very British, and it's BBC Three, same era, and we're both like we love each other as well.
Why don't you meet
know.
at Disneyland Paris?
Oh,
know?
yeah.
God,
That sounds.
There's your
no, but you
setup.
never know. That would
Work
be. I
experience.
think that would be such a fun comic relief sketch. I know
It
the
really
fans
would.
would absolutely go.
Do they even do
Fuck.
comic release still?
Yeah, I just
Oh,
did
yeah.
one. I just
Oh,
did.
did you?
I just did something I can't talk about. But yeah, we
Oh,
we
cool.
did them Ed Sheeran and all that. Like
Oh,
know,
yeah.
yeah, we could
That
do
would
it.
be great.
Charlie,
But that
what-
would be great.
What we've got you here, Charlie, there's something that we have been using and haven't so far on the episodes we've done so far. And it's a challenge situation
Yeah.
called Eddie, How Dare You?
Okay.
And we would like to bring you in as our first challengee for Eddie, How Dare You?
Yeah.
And I think we've already kind of got there. Back me up on this, Asim. I would like to, Eddie, How Dare You, come to a match at St. James's Park with Anthony Gordon on your back.
Do you think you'd be happy with that?
Yeah, I
Because
think he'd
I
love it.
100% I would. I
He
genuinely would.
he'd love it. I think
He
he's
sounds
got-
like such an interesting guy.
I
Gordon.
think he's because he
He
does all that
meditates,
manifestation stuff,
yeah.
doesn't he?
Yeah.
really, and the way he talks, he's sort of
So if
I
we,
think he's much more switched on than people realise.
Totally. And I'm so gutted he didn't get any minutes.
I'm fuming about
Euros.
that. It's actually one of the when Southgate went, it was like a bad breakup for me. It wasn't. We didn't leave. We didn't leave.
Don't call him up for 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. And he played so well when he came on. And it's like you gave Cole Palmer and Eze. It's like, come on, mate, it's Gordon. And we think that's knocked his confidence a bit for the beginning of this season. Yeah, because to miss out and sit on the bench on he's not that young where like you can't play him. He scored some big goals for Newcastle. He's such a positive.
Yeah.
He's one of them old school wingers in a way. He's very modern in a lot of ways, but he's so direct.
Yeah.
Like he's so fast, so direct, and
So that's the question, Eddie. How dare you? Will you take the challenge?
Oh my, 100%. But I just don't think Anthony Gordon. He'd be like, Charlie, who?
No.
No. But if you're in his shirt, you'll be up there wearing his shirt.
Oh, not
rocking.
Oh, sorry.
Rocking the black and white.
When you said that, I thought you meant he'd actually be on my back. Giving him a piggyback. I don't know. I didn't realise he'd be on my. Yeah,
That would be incredible if you could
I was
give
like, he's
Anthony
never
Gordon a
gonna do that.
piggyback.
Also, I love how nice Charlie is. He was up for that. These fucking weirdos
what
want
does
to
he
put
weigh?
a grown man on my back.
Oh my god, I'm so
my
naive.
God.
No, I was meaning wearing.
You're
the shirt.
really, that's very literal thinking of you, Charlie.
Oh my god.
No, just Gordon on your back. What? Sorry, he'd be wearing a Newcastle.
Yeah, Newcastle
So
shirt.
it's a dare.
Anthony Gordon
But
on
okay,
your back.
but we need to make it fair then, because then we need to. If he can't just do that,
Well, that's the
I'll
point
do
of
something
Eddie
in
How Dare You.
return. I'd come on with like a
Okay.
Mitro shirt. I don't know. Was he? No, he was.
Oh well, no,
don't know.
because I mean, you're watching the game. You're watching the Fulham game,
Yeah,
right, at the
yeah,
cottage.
yeah.
And you're going to be in the cottage
Yeah,
on the balcony.
yeah.
So
Not
and
allowed
there's-
to wear shirts. We're not allowed to wear.
yeah.
Not allowed to wear
Mitrovic on my
strips.
back physically.
I was well. I mean, what could you do?
You could
that
bring a
would be-
puppet.
I could bring a puppet. Well, have a think about it. But would you? That's the dare. So
I'd
if
do
we,
it.
okay.
I mean, if there's tickets to the game involved,
Yeah.
Our lovely sponsor BetMGM will take care of that.
yeah,
There you go.
Can add a little.
There you
little
go.
wink.
Can you? All right.
Yeah.
All right.
yeah, why not?
Okay.
Yeah?
It'll be a great night.
And where would I sit with the Fulham fans?
No.
Wherever you want, mate.
No. He'll be sitting
Oh,
with us.
okay, I'll take that
Yeah.
back. You'll be sitting with us.
Yeah, and it
In
probably
that
won't be a Fulham
case-
game. Probably won't be a
Oh.
Fulham game.
Oh God, no! Are you joking? No, I was.
Okay.
No, I was.
Have a think about it. That's the
Okay.
dare. We put the dare there. First, Eddie, how dare you?
Yeah. First, Eddie, how dare
we
you?
kind of need to give them an option, though, if it's like a trick or it's a dare. So we need
Okay.
to come up with some pun with trick. Like Kieran Trickier. No, that doesn't work. Doesn't work.
Is he still there? Did he not get
I think
sold?
it says he's still alive.
He's at the time of
He didn't
recording.
get sold.
He is, but the
Okay.
Turkish window is still open. So by the time this goes out,
come
anything could
on,
happen.
Andy, no.
There's rumors.
We can't, honestly, mate, we can't sell it.
I don't want us
We
to. I'm
can't
not
sell
saying
it.
I want us to.
He's so quality. And just seeing when he came on the other day, it should, I think, okay, he's the best Newcastle right back of all time, let's be honest.
He's class.
Wow. Hang on. What
He
about
is.
Nikos Dabizas? Or
He was
centre
left back.
Oh. What a legend he was.
He was. No,
That's when,
Dabizas was
when
great.
Bergkamp done him. You remember that?
Oh, big
That was a
t- Oh,
fluke.
he'll
That was a
always
fluke.
be remembered.
That
for
was a
being-
fluke. Imagine your highlight in football is being done.
For a show reel.
Your showreel is literally being done by a flipping little Dutch wizard.
A fluke.
Yeah, a fluke. Yeah, that was a fluke.
He wouldn't fly, would he? He wouldn't get
He
on a
wouldn't
plane.
fly. The non-flying
Wasn't that him?
Really?
I think so.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, but I thought you meant Dabizas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was that. Excellent. All right,
Okay,
I think, I think we have a plan.
Have a think about the dare. We'd love to take you up there, regardless. Anyway,
Okay.
it'll be a really good
You'll
night.
have a great fun.
No, I need
Yeah.
to visit Newcastle.
Oh, mate, you need to come. It'll be incredible.
I think you'll be stunned by the welcome you would get.
Oh,
Yeah, I think
mate.
genuinely you'll be like,
Embrace you. Yeah.
Maybe I should move here
Really?
because the people are they're
Child,
the
when
salt of the earth. They're the
Yeah.
nicest.
When I went up there, man, and not even just about me being a Newcastle fan, it was mainly on people just from nothing and just comedy fans. They love comedy. They've got such a great sense of humor. I was in a pop world in the smoking garden, all of a sudden getting clocked. And all I heard was, Chibadi is a Geordie, Chibadi is a... The whole night, didn't buy a drink all night. It
That's
was
beautiful.
like the love and embrace you get from there is just... And they would embrace you too, regardless of, Fulham.
Yeah, I think
well, we're
you're
working
right.
on that.
We're working on
We're
that.
trying.
Yeah.
We're trying.
Yeah.
Charlie, you've been an amazing
Oh.
guest. Thank you very much for your
Thank you,
company.
Charlie.
We actually did, well, in particular, Asim and Charlie had a special moment at Craven Cottage prior to filming this, but for sponsor reasons, we're not allowed to show you any of it.
But you can
you'll,
find it.
You'll be able to see
on
some
socials.
on various different social channels and so on, but we can't include any on this show.
Yeah.
But Charlie, it's been great hanging
Thank you
out
so
with
much
you,
for
spending the day
coming
with
down,
you,
mate.
Having me.
being your chauffeur.
Yeah.
It's been spectacular. Do
I've
you know,
loved
when I first got into broadcasting and I phoned up to get myself insured, to renew my car insurance,
Yeah.
when I said that I was a presenter, the insurance leapt something ridiculous. Like it went from whatever it was, £100 to £1,000.
Yeah.
And I said, justify it. How's that? And they said, well, you know, if you're mixing in these circles, then, you know, you might drive with Madonna in the car. And what if you had a crash? And I was like, as if I'm going to ever meet Madonna, right? I hung up because I was doing a show at the London studios. I hung up, I put the phone down. I walked out of my dressing room to get myself a sandwich. I got a sandwich. Madonna was in the cafe.
No, she wasn't.
I got in the lift, and Madonna and her bodyguard got in the lift with me, and she asked if she could have my sandwich.
Oh,
No, she
She
my
did,
God.
and it was a coronation chicken. I'd had it specially made.
What is that? That's some weird synchronicity. That's like
It
a
was
higher force.
it was bonkers.
But can I?
And so today I was driving with your buddy G and Curtin across through London. It's
the
lucky I didn't
insurance-
crash.
Yeah,
isn't it?
and you know what, mate? I wanted your sandwich as well. I didn't say it. But you know what? Okay, you know what you were talking about? What is that? I'll tell you what's something that happens to me, which is weird, right? So I don't know what it is, right? But I remember I was telling Charlie Brooker this on Black Mirror, who's obviously
love
loves
Charlie
this kind of
Brooker.
shit, right? And I was telling him, so basically what happens, it literally happened to me yesterday. It happens to me all the time. So I've got my headphones in, right? I'm in an Uber, okay? Let's say I'm driving past something that says something quite unique, like have a good session, right? Like there's a sign that says as I'm listening to a song, that I would hear have a good session. And as I look up, I will see have a good session. And it would happen to me like all the time since I can't remember, for like decades. And I used to think, first I used to just go, oh, it's just a coincidence. I'm looking for stuff, or I'm looking for stuff, then I'm fine. But it would happen like at the very moment it would happen. And then there was one moment where I'd freak out about it and go, oh, am I going a bit mad? But it's like this hyper aware stuff because I'm always scanning.
Yeah.
I'm like Messi. I'm just scanning. Wherever I am, I'm always hyper aware and I've always got music on.
I
So
had
what's
the same
that about?
thing. Do you know what it is? Because I had exactly the same thing, but with the digits 1111. I kept seeing them everywhere, but to
Right.
the point where it was like
Got
beyond.
weird.
It was so weird, and you get flurries of them, whether it be on a receipt or you check the time or whatever, or an invoice. And then I've done looked a little bit into it, but it means you're in the vortex and you're on the right path of whatever you're doing. It means you're connected to the universe. That sounds mental.
No, but in a way, it means that you're aware
You're-
so
it means
much
that-
and you're
yeah.
one with whatever's around you.
Totally. You're picking up on an energy. I don't know. It's weird. There's so much we can't explain, but it definitely means something.
It's happened to me so many times that it's just not a coincidence anymore. Like,
Yeah.
now I'm not even bothered by it. And I told Charlie Brooker this, Black Mirror, and he got really interested in it. And he was going, "So tell me more about it." And I was like, if you're writing a fucking episode of this, you better put me in this, Charlie.
Yeah.
So I was like, because he got really into it. But it's a thing that it's happened to me for a long time. And I know a lot of people experience similar things, but you can't explain it sometimes.
No.
It's like, what is it?
But treat it as a positive thing.
Yeah. Don't go mental,
It's
basically.
a glitch in the matrix.
It's a
isn't
glitch
it?
in the
That's-
matrix.
That's what it is.
It's a little bit,
That's
yeah.
what it is.
But,
You
yeah.
have been watching or listening to The Adopted Geordies, brought to you by BetMGM. I've been Andy J. He's been Charlie Cooper, our superstar guest, and the main man, Mr. Asim Chowdhury. We'll be back very soon.
The Adopted Geordies. The Adopted Geordies. We got Andy J, we got the Baldy. Together we are the Adopted Geordies.